Okay, I believe we're live. Hello. Hello, everybody, anybody. I'm Lynell Ingram, and today we're going to be working on this painting that I've got here. I have started it. I have the sketch on the page. I started doing some basic background stuff, but haven't gotten very far with it, certainly. And got a lot more to do. I got some bits of paper cut out that I have ready to go with some collage elements. I got my palette of paint, and we are going to have a lot to get on the canvas today. See how far we can get with this guy. We will see. I had my tea and water and all the important things to get started. So hello. That's not too bad. I am trying a green tea that's green tea with lemon and honey. And it's okay. It is all right. Not bad. All right. So to get started, sorry, my nose is itching because I have cat hair all over. I was holding my cat earlier. It just goes with the territory. I have like kind of a makeshift stay wet type of a palette that I basically put together myself, and it's already loaded with a bunch of paints. I've been using it. I kind of use it until it's really needs to be tossed, and then I can get rid of it and start a fresh sheet in there. But yeah, this is where we're starting from. And let me see. My plan is to start with putting some more paint on the background, first some kind of more abstract things, shapes, patterns, and like work up to then painting in the heart and the more detailed part of that. So it should be fun, maybe, hopefully. I mean, if you're doing art stuff, you always hope that it is fun to do, that you are enjoying a little bit and it's not just work and misery. Right? Or something. I don't know. Okay. All right. So as far as all the background goes on this painting, I don't have super specific plans for it. It's gonna be a little loose and just kind of adding layers till we like what we got. It's very interesting. This little splatter coming out of the heart on this side, I used a fluorescent pink in there, and the way the camera picks it up is kind of crazy. It looks so much more hot on camera. Like, it looks bright to me, but it looks straight up hot on the camera. And at least a little hotter than it is when I look at it. I'm trying to see here what is going on with my YouTube page. Sorry, I don't want to be like trying to troubleshoot something, but I'm not seeing any like a chat or anything area on there. Let me see. What can we do here? Huh. I don't know. I think it's okay. I think probably wrong, because that's how it goes. But we're going to go with it. I moved some things around in my studio, and I'm painting on a different side of it than I normally do. And yeah, this is so weird. Why can't I see my chat? I wonder. Okay, let me try refreshing the page. See what it does. Hopefully not break everything. Did I break everything? Oh, I didn't break everything. Jim, hi. There's somebody there. I'm glad I could see you. How are you? It's been a long time. Finally back to it. I've been meaning to like schedule a live stream, and I keep being like, when should I do it for? When's a good time to start again? So I finally just did it. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully everything looks good to everybody now. Um, yeah, those weird things going on with my setup. Yeah, that's all just my fault. My bad. My screwing around and changing things up at the last minute. But yeah, all is good. All is good. So how have you been, Jim? Any up to any cool creative projects? I hope. I Oh, good. I'm glad everything looks good. That is good news. I have been on the lookout recently. I haven't done much in the way of like searching out good collage materials in a little way, in a little while. But I've recently been to a couple of like thrift store type situations, and I've gotten a couple of really cool things, and I haven't really broken into them yet. I don't know why. I should. I guess I have enough other things that I've just been sort of holding off, but I'll share. Show and tell. I got these little booklets. They're really fun. They're from, I think, the 70s or so, but they're just these little kind of mini books, storybooks, picture books. And I just love these retro illustrations in there. So I think it'd be fun to cut those up and maybe use those in different things. So they had a bunch of them. I just picked up these two, Lolly Lamb, Tawny the Tiger, Tawny the Lion. Should be a tiger if it's Tawny. But I mean, somebody's stamped some child's information, their home address, where they're from. So, but that's all right. It's just on the covers, and there'll be some good stuff in there. You learned how to do lost wax casting at the makerspace. Oh, that sounds cool. I don't know much about lost wax casting. I don't know what that is, but casting is awesome, and and hugely admire that work that people do with that. So that's super cool. I love learning random things like that. The other things I got are a couple of, Woman's Day from 1950. It was 5 cents. But yeah, great like old color illustrations. And what I really love in these is some of the ads that are just so delightfully misogynistic and kind of awful, but great for use in my artwork. I'm reining in my thrift store and other spending habits, using my time to organize my hoard, kind of. I hear you. It's been a while since I've done any buying of anything like this, so it didn't feel too extravagant. There's the other one I got. This is True Experience from 1938, and this one I'm really excited about. I mean, it's got Miss Garbeau on the cover. I mean, heck yeah. Look at this. Look at this artwork in there. So yeah, I'm super excited to go through this. I haven't yet. I think this cost me like $8 or something like that, but I'm really excited to see what's in this one. I had a Woman's World magazine from the 20s, and there wasn't a ton of imagery in it. It wasn't like, it was only maybe 20 some pages also, but there's like articles about legal stuff going on, women's rights things, and it's really just kind of shocking. And I admire anybody who's working at organizing their stuff, because that is a constant battle for me to try to keep things organized in my studio. There's a part of me that is like, well, I just don't have a lot of room, so, what can I do? It's not my fault. But part of me is like, yeah, that's a really not great excuse, and I could do a better job if I just put more effort into it. Which is really, I mean, not having the space makes it hard a little bit, because I do like too many things. I don't just do acrylic paintings and collage. I don't just do watercolor paintings. I do those. I also have supplies for for painting with oil paints. I have stuff for fabric painting because I was doing some like handbags and things that were like custom artwork on them. And I have sculpture materials and just a whole lot of stuff. And I really hate this color right here, but I can just cover it up, so it's fine. That's how it goes. It's not a problem. If I don't like something, it can always be painted over. Scrub some of it out a little bit. One of the things with acrylic paints, usually they can cover themselves over pretty well. The only time you might have some issue with that is really if you're trying to cover a really light, like a lemon yellow or some kind of cheaper. The like craft acrylic paints don't have as much pigment in them, so they're not as great at covering. You have to do a lot of layers. Yeah, some of them are more transparent than others. Okay. I also have some random other things that I like to incorporate. This is a 3D liner. It kind of reminds me, if you were a kid in was it the 90s where we had those for t-shirts, the puff paint. It was like this little squeezy bottle so you could draw on shirts and things. Definitely remember using those a little bit. I think they might still exist. Relatively certain that they still exist. What else? I got anything? Oh, we just keep going and building some more colors and stuff. Maybe some oranges would be nice. If I can mix one I actually like. I have a tendency to not buy a ton of colors like oranges and things, greens. Yeah, that looks gross. I typically like to mix more so than purchase those paints. It's just been always in my brain that that's what I do. Certain shades of your primaries work better at that than others, and sometimes you just gotta buy that pigment. I don't even know if I have any orange. Oh, I see one. This is my level of organization. Ugh, a plastic bin of my acrylic paints. Not that I have that, and it was good thinking, put them all in one spot. However, I don't have a place to put that. That's smart. So that's, I can see because it's clear. I do have an orange. Okay. Yeah. So I went on a little kick earlier this year, January, and bought some, I was in a craft store and they had big plastic bins on sale. So of course, I had to buy a bunch of bins because like, oh, that would be great for organizing my supplies for the collage stuff, elements of my work. So I got much bigger bins that I'd been using before and brought them home and put all the stuff in them, and I feel real good about myself. Ooh, so organized, so nice. And then I went to put them in my studio, put them away, and realized I don't have a place to put them. They're like just slightly too big to fit into any caddy or shelf that I have. And it just hadn't occurred to me to think about that before I brought it home. So, I try. One step forward, two steps back kind of a situation. Paint two pliers. Yes, you sent those to me. This to me. I use this all the time, Jim. Thank you for that. Lifesaver. All the freaking time. It is the best. Saves my poor little delicate hands. Oh, it really does, because it doesn't help that I actually have some arthritis in my hands. Arisette, hello. Hello, hello. How are you? What even is this? What's happening right now? Making messes. That's what we're doing. A big mess. Yes. So I have a heart. And right now I'm mostly working on some like background and sort of things radiating out of it. And at the moment it's mostly just colors. And I have a bunch of, just looking at my paint covered hand for a while. I have a bunch of cut paper bits that are going to be going on there as well. But I'm kind of just looking for a whole lot of chaos and color for coming out of it. And then when I paint the heart itself, it'll be a little bit, I mean, it'll still be color, but a little less maybe intense, we'll say. But yeah. That's the plan. I started working on this and then I stopped because I'm like, this would be the perfect kind of painting to work on stream. And then I continued to do nothing about that for like several weeks. But finally, here we are. Finally, back at it. Having the brilliant idea, I love this green color I put as like the base layer, but it really is not the greatest for painting on top of, and I will just be the first to admit that. Oh, sorry. I gotta watch always. My microphone is right in front of me here, and my brushes is always in danger of hitting the mute button that's right on top of it, right on the edge of it. Brilliant design for, you know, when you're painting. Not the things I think that you think about when, you know, you're shopping online for a microphone that'll work for doing stuff. Who would have thought? How's everything? Everything is good, more or less. It was snowing today, which was crazy for April here, but pretty good. I've been well caffeinated, too much. I probably need to cut back, but green tea tonight, so not quite as bad as coffee. Okay. And the brilliant thing is, besides like the most broad, I want to add color, and I cut some things out. I really am approaching this with very little of any plan of any sort. We're just going for it. Okay. And let me see here. Just check and make sure everything's looking good. All right. I don't have any, I used to play music during the streams, and I don't have that right now because I stopped subscribing to that service that I was using for that. So we'll see if I decide to get back to using that or not. Not sure. Not sure. I like using these textured paint squeeze tubes things for some kind of jaggedy, crazy lines, organic lines coming out of there. Kind of looks like lightning or something. But sufficiently chaotic. What else do I want to use? I have some turquoise. Throw some of that bad boy on there. Although technically, probably that color was some kind of a turquoise, I guess. Whatever. Whatever, we're going for it. So how's everybody? Anything exciting going on in your parts of the world? I got lo-fi playing on Spotify in the background anyway. Just pretend it's from you. There you go. Loving the big color expression happening. The background is gorgeous. I like the green. It's just making it a little difficult to add other stuff. Kind of like this. I like this color. I don't want it to be very dark. I'm looking for mostly just saturated colors for the background right now. Okay. And my little, just a couple things that I've taped on here already. Not taped, I've adhered on there. The little tiny piece of paper there that says "You deserve," and then the "Nothing escapes." That's all that was added so far for cut paper things. But we're just gonna, ooh, that looks really ugly. That color right there. That's okay. It can be adjusted. Yep, nope, that looks ugly too. Keep going. Just keep adjusting it until... And another thing, another weird thing about making that my background color is that it definitely, like, I mix a color on my palette, and when I put it on here, it's not going to look the same against that color. So it does some weird things, which is not probably ideal, but we're going with it. Oops. Apologies for keep hitting the microphone with my paintbrush. It's like you guys are really in the painting with me. All right. Making a mess. Okay. Today I'm working on my book, doing a sketch for it. It's cold here today, and that's wonderful because we just came out of that gross hot summer. Oh, yeah. That's right. We have opposite sides of the planet weather going on. Everybody here is like dying for the weather to be nice because, you know, we're just coming out of our winter. Although I've decided that I used to really like summer and not like winter, but I've really shifted in that thought process over the last couple of years, and I kind of preferred the cold weather now. Just always too darn hot. I like a hat. I don't like to sweat. And it's always humid. Color theory, be cray like that. You change when you put them next to each other. So true. So very true. And Jim, I've been sawing wood. Several trees were felled at your mom's house last year, so you've been doing some chainsawing and splitting them. Oh, that sounds like serious work. But you get a lot of firewood out of that. I don't know if you burn fires at all or anything along those lines, but that's one way to get some firewood. I need some more. We'll go with magenta. Ha! My issue, anything that I grab, like tools like this that I just grabbed, I just set it down somewhere, and 2 seconds later, I've lost it. I can't figure out where I put it. Never fails. God forbid I put it back where it belongs. Crocuses bloomed here about 2 weeks ago. Daffodils will bloom soon. Yeah, I saw some daffodils. What day was it? Wednesday in Hoffman Estates, which is a suburb of Chicago out here. Yeah, that was pretty, I was very excited. Like, more excited than reasonably I should be, but I was very excited to see green things blooming, and some tree that I don't know what it is across the street from me has kind of these pinkish, purplish blossoms all over it already. It's one of the first things that's blossoming, even though none of the trees quite have much green on them yet. Ooh, wood things. I got into doing woodworking a little while ago. That's so satisfying, even just doing the most basic stuff. Yeah, man. I love it. I wish I could. I wish I could do more. No garage. No access to tools. Pine firewood. Some maple for woodworking. Perfect. Any good flicks? You saw The Deep House yesterday. That was awesome. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one. I did see, as I watched the on Shudder, there's the drive-in with Joe Bob, because I have a nostalgia for that. When I was a teenager, he was a horror movie host that had Monster Vision on TNT, was it? Sorry, guys. And so I have a nostalgia for that. And watched him on Friday night play a movie called Intruder. That is 1989. It's actually got Sam Raimi and his brother. Oh, I'm going to blank on it now. What's his brother's name? I don't have it. It'll come to me. Sam Raimi and his brother are in it. Not making the film, but just as like actors, at side actors, and it's just a slasher flick that takes place in a grocery store. It was pretty fun. There were some really neat shots in it. So that's the most recent movie I watched. And there's been a few others. The Deep House is found footage about a couple who check out a lake in France where there is an entire house under the lake. That's kind of cool. That sounds interesting. I did watch the last voyage of the Demeter, that Dracula movie. It was okay, which is kind of what I expected. Not amazing. Nothing to, write home about, but fine. It was okay. I watched oh God, just names are just gone in my head today. The guy that did, oh no. So the movie was The Fantastic Fear of Everything. And the guy from Shaun of the Dead, that actor slash movie maker guy, Lord, my brain. That was one of his films. It was cute. It's not actually like a scary horror film. It's just, it's cute and comedic. There's been others. I did watch Strange Darling. That was pretty good. Simon Pegg, yes, thank you. Oh my Lord. I could not remember it. I swear to you. Sometimes I just don't know where my mind goes. Great movie, saw it ages ago. When he's in the laundromat. Yeah, that's the one. Just randomly stumbled upon it, put it on. Thought it was great. So maybe I'll start. I mean, some bits are really wet, but I might start adding in some of my more little cutouts at this stage. One movie that I saw a little while ago that was amazing and just felt like it was something I'd never heard of. It's not new by any means, but stumbled upon it. It's a movie that I stumbled upon on Amazon Prime, I think it was. And I've been telling everybody to watch it, but it's a movie called Stay. And it has Ewan McGregor and... Why do I do this to myself? Guy that plays Ken in the Barbie movie. Ugh. Why do I try? His last name starts with a G. Yeah, that guy. Y'all know who I mean. And it's not horror. Like I do watch a lot of horror movies. I'll admit to that. This one was not. It was kind of a psychological mystery thriller. I don't know, but it's visually really cool. it just looks like some of the shots in there are crazy, and it slowly becomes surreal and you barely realize it's happening if you're not really like keyed into seeing, like paying attention to some of the things happening like in the background and around the characters. It might take a little longer to catch on to the surrealism of it. And it's just beautiful. It is a beautifully shot film. And Ryan Gosling, yes, thank you. Ay. Yeah, beautiful film. High recommend on that one. It almost had a Lynchian kind of a quality to it. Like not maybe quite, like it's more, I don't know, maybe not as weird, quite as weird as like a typical David Lynch film, but it had that surrealism to it. Really loved it. Thought it was great. Can't remember who the director is now. It has been a few months since I watched it, but boy, like I said, I've been telling everybody, gotta see it. Add it to your list. If you have Amazon, it was on there. I assume it still is. I don't actually know. Okay. This is actually a board. Instead of a canvas, it's like a canvas stretched over board. It just happened to be something I had laying around, and so decided to put it to use. I'm trying to like create some extra paintings because, oh, here's a good one. Let's see this one. Heck yeah. Yeah, a couple of art fairs coming up this summer, so I'm trying to make sure that I have plenty of work ready to go. At this point, I have most of the logistical things figured out. Ugh, making a mess. Like the tent that I need and hanging stuff and all that kind of fun time, but I just gotta make sure that I have enough work and that it's ready to present. So I have one real big painting that's right behind me that I've been working on for a while, trying to get that one done. I still have about a month, I guess, a little over a month before my first one that I'm taking part in. So I need to buckle in and just make sure I'm getting these things done. But let's see, where do I want this? Maybe over here. I can trim it afterwards. This little thing looks like a piece of candy, but if I recall, I actually got it out of an old 50s magazine, no, not Life. I don't remember what magazine it was, but it was curtains. It was curtains in a room of somebody's very fashionable home. I kind of want curtains like that. I don't mind letting something hang over like that when I'm just assembling it, because once everything's all done and dried, just take a little like X-Acto blade and trim off that little overhang, which is real easy and simple to take care of. Not a problem at all. So it can stay there and just be out of my way for a while. I don't have to think about it or worry about it at the moment, or like think that I need to trim it perfectly before I put it down. Just try and get it a little flatter. There we go. I might not use that one. That might not be enough color. But little leg action right there, maybe. Yeah, maybe kind of right in the middle of the pink section. That'll work. All right. I like that. Was this piece inspired by anything specific? This is... I was going through old sketchbooks and I found a drawing of a heart like that, and I really like that idea where it's sort of some cross between an anatomical heart and not an anatomical heart, kind of stitched up. And the idea of having all of this colorful candy type stuff going on around it, very bright pastels, sweet things, was going to be a contrast to the heart, like the idea of like, what we expect to put out into the world, or what is expected to put out into the world, versus what actually might be true to us as just people, and kind of playing off on that in a fun and colorful way. So that's my thought process on this one, for whatever that is worth. Yeah, it needs... I wonder, do I have... I don't think I have any actual... No, sorry. Brain's going random directions randomly. It does that sometimes. Okay. A couple more pieces on. We'll see. I got a few more that are more like textural things. We'll just keep kind of going back and forth. My adhesive to the side for now. I need to use up... I put some in a container for myself to make it easy to use it, because otherwise it's just in big like squeeze bottles. But it hadn't occurred to me that that container, even though it seems to be pretty, it's like a fairly airtight container, it's actually getting moldy in there. So I like scooped out all the moldy bits earlier, but I need to use it up, so that's not an issue anymore. It's kind of gross. Nobody wants that. No one needs to see that. So yeah. I don't want any of the colors to be too dark for the most part. Just really bright. Bright and saturated. That is what we are going for. Okay, let me think for a second. I kind of wish I had more. I only bought, when I got the pink, what do you call it? Fluorescent color there. When I bought that tube of paint, I only picked up the pink fluorescent paint. I didn't get any other colors, and I kind of wish I did. Oh, can always get more paint if I decide I really want that. All right. I've spent some time this morning looking at my Etsy shop. I sell some things on Etsy. Not a ton, not any original work, just some of my like printed things. And every now and again, I'll look at that and kind of have that like internal dialogue trying to decide if I really think it's worth it to keep having the Etsy. I don't know. I keep going back and forth on it. At first I didn't like it's they take I don't know if anybody uses them. They take 6.5% margin. They take that off of your anything you sell, which doesn't seem too bad, but there's also 3% processing fee besides that, which is pretty standard anytime you're selling something that you're allowing a credit card to be paid on. But it when like what I'm selling on there are things that have a pretty low profit margin, you know. I don't make a lot from the sales, and but I also don't want to charge a lot for those things, which is like the other side of that. I don't, so it's hard to continue to justify maybe like maintaining that, because I don't want to charge more than I'm currently charging for those things. But boy, you don't do well. And it used to be a little bit better in discovery. Like I used to be able to count on a certain amount of like traffic finding me on Etsy. And not so much recently. And even they kind of push you, shockingly, like every platform anymore, to do ads, pay for ads on their platform for them to suggest your products. And I've done that, and there was a time where that seemed to also drive some traffic, but it really doesn't seem to do anything anymore. I stopped paying for the ads because they seemed to be ineffective, and even without doing the ads, it's like, I don't know. Etsy is doing so badly these days. They have absolutely bombed. They definitely switched their kind of priorities. But again, that's something that seems like we're seeing with a lot of companies. Like, they're no longer as much about the experience. It's becomes much more about, you know, profitability. Like Etsy's issue is, I think, is started when they went public, because now you got shareholders to answer to. Now profitability is your priority, and it changes everything. So it's always a shame to see that kind of happen with something that used to be real good. Seen a lot of whiplash against it, especially considering they accept work made by AI. Seem to be filling with a lot of stuff you might find on Temu. Yeah, there's a lot of drop ship garbage on there. Like, I have noticed some of that. And oh, this the AI art. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I don't think anybody would be surprised by that, by saying that, but oh, it makes me sad. And I just saw, like, I've really cut back on how much I consume, especially like I don't I really don't spend any time on social media, hardly at all anymore. I don't know. I just not a good experience, not a fun experience. Um And just thinking about, like, it's so easy to just scroll things to fill downtime or whatever. But I read this email newsletter from somebody where they talked about the idea of like only consuming things that took, if you're going to consume stuff, maybe think about it, like try to consume things that took effort to make, like more effort to make. So like they use the examples of going to live theater and that sort of thing, which, you know, if that's your thing and you can afford that, great. But that kind of just made me think, like, there is so much mindless stuff that we consume because it feels low barrier and whatever. Like, I don't have to think hard, and it just kind of checked out for a while. But it's still just it's still consuming stuff. So if we're going to do that, yeah, maybe reading more books. I'm terribly slow and awful at reading. I start a lot of books, but reading more, and yeah, and I love watching film, and that obviously takes a lot of effort to make. But just yeah, and but that just feeds into that concept that if we want to be more mindful, if anybody decides to be more mindful about like what you're consuming, AI is like going in the opposite direction of that, just creating vapid, empty content for the sake of there being more content. I don't know. Anyway, that's my soapbox rant for the moment. Sorry, everybody. See their ads on TV pretty often for Etsy. Yeah. When I figured out how to get my site up, you can put your stuff on it. Your forum idea was a great idea. Thank you. Yeah, I do have my stuff all on my website too. Like it's not a lack of having a place, but it just was like another place to be, just another place to be found. I kind of viewed it as, I don't know. But yeah, Jim, I bought a great bowl carvers ads from a smith in Bulgaria on Etsy. It was a good price too. Definitely was not AI. Heck yeah, that sounds really cool. There is still great handmade stuff on Etsy. It just sometimes feels like you gotta dig a little bit more for it sometimes. Sail Fantasy Waves. Hello from Pensacola, Florida. Rainy and in the 70s today. Interesting conversation. Hi, how are you? And sorry for getting into the deep end there. I don't know. Yeah, I just have a lot of feeling. I definitely have a lot of feelings about AI. Yeah. But yeah, 70s, that sounds pretty nice. It's quite chilly today. We had snowflakes. I'm up by Chicago, Illinois. We had a lot of snow showers today. I think we're supposed to be in the 20s tonight, so that's a hard freeze. Hopefully all the things that are trying to blossom around here survive it. All right. It's just been crazy weather. One day it'll be boiling hot outside, and then the next day it's freezing temperatures again. It's been a nightmare for having like migraines, man. Just some days are just brutal. Yeah. Oh, there is a Watson cat. You coming to say hi to everybody? Come here. Come here. Instead of walking across my paint palette, come here, you. Say hi to everybody. Yeah. Here's the baby. Here's Watson. Watson cameo. And Jim, speaking of AI generated art, I was using Adobe Firefly to make some starter images. I plan to improve and expand on them in Photoshop. Yeah, for idea generation, I don't have any problem with that. I just don't want to see like somebody just put a prompt into something and then spit it out as being worthwhile stuff. I'm just not interested. Like when I would think even just for the people that would want to make that, why not just make a thing? Like actually make something. Why not? Get your hands dirty. I do AI prompts that are intentionally weird so I can take the ball and run with it. I like weird. I'm here for the weird. How you doing, Bubba Cat? Did you just need some attention? Yeah. That's my baby boy. He's going to be 4 later this month. All right, you. Now that your hair is officially in all of the wet paint, you just settle down there, huh? Ooh, he actually might sit on my lap. That's a first. That's a rarity. Yeah, there's seriously cat hair flying around everywhere. Ooh, and he's not a very shutty guy. He's not too bad about it. Just very needy. He's a very needy baby. Okay, let's see here. This year we had 8 inches of snow in the Florida Panhandle. It was the first real snow I'd seen in 20 years. Wow. Weird weather everywhere, man. I'm telling you. It's been strange. I don't know. It's like, it really is. There'll be 30-degree differences from one day to a day later or 2 days later. It's just brutal. Yes, making actual physical art should be more valued in the future. Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure that, yeah, that's still the case. If somebody wants something, it's just like now, we want something that's handmade versus manufactured. We pay more for it, right? So that'll continue to be, I imagine, the way. All right, I'm not going to let you walk in the palette, mister. That's a big no. Last thing you want me to do, running you into the bathtub, it'd scrub you up. You would not be happy. Oh, he's just, I know what's going to happen here. He's just going to push me to the edge of the chair so he can sit on the chair. Yep. That's okay. Mom will share with you. He's a funny guy. No, yeah. Cat hair nose. Cat hair to the nose. All right, so I suppose I could start working on the heart. I'm going to add, like, the background's going to continue to just build with textures and colors and random bits. I'll do a lot more there. I think I need to get, though, I do want some more white paint on my palette here. Ah. Old lady problems. Telling you this thing. So videos of snow in Pensacola earlier in the winter. Oh, wow. It is strange. Yeah, we didn't have, being in the Midwest, like crazy heavy snowfalls. Not really very intense winter at all. Like 1 week was like super cold temperatures, maybe. It wasn't very bad winter, I think. That's just me. You're very cute. Yeah. Okay. So let's start laying on some paint for this guy. I'm gonna lean to kind of like a cooler, darker colors for the heart for the most part. But kind of just get some things, start getting some things down on here on the canvas. I'm painting with one hand and keeping my cat from walking on my palette with the other hand. It is an interesting go of it. Okay. And right now this is just, I'm using some dioxazine purple and white. So it's very simple, but I will add more layers and things on here as I go. Get some other hues kind of building up also, but you're very distracting, Mr. Watson. Yes, you are. Oh, yeah. It was wild. Schools and roads were closed for several days. I believe that. It's, you know, around here we have fleets of vehicles and things to manage the expected every year snow and ice and all that. Okay, I'm just going to take this off the table because this is not going well with the cat. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, I've heard stories of people getting stuck on roads for quite a while, which would not be fun. Are you here to help? Yeah. You're just hamming it up for the camera? Funny guy. Yeah, you're very helpful. You are. My little studio assistant right here. Oh my goodness. You're so cute and distracting. My cat will sleep on my arm while I'm trying to paint. The struggle is real. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Okay, sure. Yes. There's nowhere to go there. All right. Yeah, you can get behind me. That's fine. And yeah, you know, it's not like I'm going to kick him out of the studio or anything, so it's kind of my own doing. Let him get up here. I made the stupid decision to put my dog's bed on the end of your desk so she can see out the window, and now that's all she wants to do is sit there forever. Aw. I think part of the problem in the studio is I don't have a great like place for him to hang out and sleep. There are a couple other chairs, like desk chairs in here, but it's a small room and it's crammed full of desks and things. So I think that makes it a little bit more of a challenge for because he wants to be where the people are, especially me, and it's not easy. Oh yes, you are very helpful. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not easy in here. I tried getting one of those like window mounted beds so that he could sit in the window and see outside, but he's like a 16-pound cat, and just when he gets on there and I don't know, it freaks me out. I don't think it's sturdy enough. And the one that I have, you have to have the window like open for that to work. I know, baby. You gotta wait a while. Can y'all hear that? It is the saddest meow. Saddest meow, huh? I'll probably, like, I'm not getting too fussy with my edges yet because I know I'm still going to be going in and doing more stuff. So the edges will get cleaned up as I go along with this painting. But yeah, just going to start getting something down here. I was watching a little bit of he's back, of a documentary about Mark Rothko, who is an artist that I've only like in the last few years really started to appreciate. What are you doing to the microphone? He's an interesting person. It's part of, so I'm working on a video right now. I'm doing the editing on it. So getting close to done. on the concept of the tortured artist. Come on, you're gonna get paint on you. Um, and what there, here's the weird thing. There's actually a lot of studies looking into whether like mental illness or suffering. I keep doing that. I apologize. Whether those things contribute to creativity. There's actually a lot of science about like a surprising amount of studies and science on the topic. But yeah, so I've been looking at some of that and doing my own little deep dive because it's just something that I'm interested in and curious about, seeing if there's anything to any of that. But yeah, that's kind of that drove me to watch the documentary. It's an older one about Rothko, but yeah, it's interesting because I never really understood, I guess, his work in the past. Was I didn't really get the appeal to it, but I very much do now. Like it's just, I don't know, your tastes change. Uh, and I think as we grow, like when I was younger, I was much more drawn to more kind of straight representational artwork than I am now. But yeah, it was really, really cool work, really kind of tragic story. But that's a lot of folks. A lot of folks. Rothko was one of the first artists I loved. My mom loves him. I have a huge coffee table book of his works. That's amazing. But I know you really have to see his work in real life to get its full effect. I think that's true. And I wish that it hadn't been in a situation where it was getting to be a bit of a rush, but I saw one room of a bunch of his paintings, of the really dark ones. The Philadelphia Art Museum had one room, like a dimly lit room full of his work. And yeah, you just kind of sit with it for a minute and let it come to you, let it hit you. It's surprising. It's really cool. I also love Francis Bacon. And I finally went this last summer. It's been ages. Went to the Chicago Art Institute for the first time in way too long. And they had one of my favorite paintings by Francis Bacon there. And I just had a geek out moment looking at a painting. Um, it was that was really cool. Man, some people that have just made so much incredible, so many incredible things. And these days, I find myself being surprised sometimes by the things that really like emotionally affect me. I don't know if anybody else experiences that as like just part of as we get older, I guess our what affects us changes, our perspectives change. The lives that we live affect these things. That's interesting. Oh yeah, anyway. And then I started concentrating and it got quiet. Apologies, guys. All right. My thought was purples at first, but it's leaning more towards blues. So we'll see. We'll see where it ends up. Okay. The cat has exited the building, the room. I can concentrate a little better on what I'm actually doing. Pay closer attention. Not just protect my painting and board from cat hair and him from the paint. Protect the cat from himself, essentially. Yeah. Speaking of cat hairs. Yeah. It's hard to figure out where to put my microphone where I'm not going to be constantly hitting it with my brush and still have it close enough to my face. I tell you. I hope that it's not super loud when I keep hitting the end of my brush on the back of the microphone. That I don't mean for it to be. No, not loud when you hit the mic. Okay, good. uh, I am, I've never been the most graceful person. As I continue to do the thing. Not great with spatial awareness. I really don't think that there is another life in which I would have been a dancer or anything. I would just hurt myself. Okay, I'm okay with the color overall thing that's going on here. But I'm gonna want to build up a lot more textures and things on here also. I don't want it to be just like this completely, like, very smooth, plasticky art. Not quite going for a whole-on Lisa Frank style. You're back already? Hi. He's back. All right. Let me move my paint out of the way of the cat again. Did somebody feed you? Yeah, all better. Well, you don't like it? Always a critic. Some people you can never please. Isn't that true? So normally you would often, or very often, you would have your darker color in the background and then lighter colors coming forward. But you can also create a separation by doing the opposite if there's enough impact. Like, I don't want this to be too busy. Like, I'm going to build some texture on it, but it's not going to be super busy, whereas the background is busy, and that will help to create a little bit of separation. So it's not just, so there, you know, I want there to be a focal point still on this. Right now, it is mostly just chaos, but I did promise chaos. Yeah, what I'm looking forward to is the first farmers markets. Once the farmers markets start functioning again. I always enjoy that. I don't go often in the summertime, but I always at least try to get to one of the early ones. And you know what the sad thing is? It's walking distance from me. I can walk there. And yet, I don't go very often. I mean, you know, I do want to be able to support local growers and things, but it is also, you know, not the most economical place to shop for groceries. So that's a chunk of it. But it's just, it's like the experience of being there on one of the early nice days of the year. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot that, you know, things grow. I did just run out of my local honey. Like literally today. Eh, it still needs a lot of work, but um but it's okay. It's good. It's a good start. It's a good base to work off of. And I'd mentioned that about my initial thought was to use some purple, so maybe for this like patch area over here, I can kind of make that be a nice little purple area. And we'll just paint a happy little anatomical heart. I was someplace with my mom and my sister. We were having dinner somewhere, and there was a TV in the bar area, and they were playing Bob Ross. Is it his son now that does like the Bob Ross painting stuff? I think so. I think so. I think that was it. I think that was him. But that's what was on the TV. And I do appreciate that. That's great. Random. Random to not just see sports. And maybe there weren't sports. Maybe it wasn't the time for there to be sports. I don't know. But I appreciated that. Yeah, that's the little, what do you call it? Patch area. Hmm. I might decide to give it stripes or something in there. Kind of like a fabric patch. We'll see. Maybe. That'd be like an end detail, the kind of thing that you God, sorry. The kind of thing you add at the pretty much very end. I cannot speak words, so my. Okay, anyway. Y'all with me, right? Not talking total crazy talk. Maybe. All right. I need to get some. Getting to the point I need to get some fresh paint on here. Just about. I hate wasting paint. I always try to use up what I can on my palette. Try not to have any of it get tossed by not being used. But there's always the danger of doing that and what do you call it? Like not using the paint well. Like just making a mess of things for yourself because you're not making decisions based on the right reasons. But yeah, I don't know if I can do so and do it. Without making something terrible of it. I do like to. I'm trying to work through my cheap acrylic before upgrading, but every time I use them, I remember why they're cheap. Yeah, I hear you. There's limitations for sure, but there are still things that they can still do some things okay. I remember working with some, like, they weren't the worst. They weren't like the craft level maybe, but like the student grade acrylics. I was doing some teaching for a while for kids. And it was definitely a different thing to anytime I had to use those paints for making demonstrations or anything. Definitely things work a little differently. But I know I also learned to work with watercolor paint by using really cheap stuff, just what I had. Yeah, you do what you can. And when you're learning, that's all right. We just always do the best we can. And in some ways, once you switch to using the better stuff, the better quality, like once you've learned how to work with the cheaper stuff, transitioning to the nicer products is like you really see like a tremendous difference. You set yourself up for even more success by having mastered kind of the awful stuff first sometimes. Or at least, something we tell ourselves to deal with, working with what we can. But yeah, art supplies aren't cheap. The heck, nothing is these days, right? Hello again, Mr. Watson. Back for more trouble. Yeah. You still don't like it, huh? Okay. Noted. What? Oh, baby cat. Okay. That's a good start for the heart. The purple looks very, very flat to me. So, I mean, all of it needs some more work, but we'll keep messing with it, and probably about to the point that I might go back and do some more background stuff now and go back, go back and forth a little bit. Let's see, what next? I kind of, yeah, let's do something I never do. Yes, you're back again. I know. And add some white on here. Like I said, something I never do. It won't stay just white, but, just some white. No, you don't go down the paint. Nope. Mr. Watson. Huh? Gotta get into everything. Yeah, we were talking earlier about like the difference in like like talking about AI and the value of handmade things. I've always maintained that, if I got money to spend, just spend. I don't have to pay bills with it or do anything else. That money generally goes to buy art and things from makers. It's not clothes, purses, shoes. Those things I look at more as like I buy when I absolutely have to, and I don't like like to. I don't like to spend money on them. Um, but yeah, definitely. I would just, if I could just afford to spend money on art, my all my walls would be covered with amazing stuff. That would just be amazing. I have mostly only been able like to when I buy from people I really love, just prints thus far. But I still get to support artists that way and have something that's uh, beautiful to me. So I noticed that at my local art museum, um, in Chicago here, the Art Institute is going to have a Frida exhibit coming up. Or I don't know if it's already started. I got the flyer in the other room, but I haven't focused on it just yet. Yeah, I know it looks almost looks like a little fart clouds, isn't it? Um, just giving me a little base. I'll be adding more on there. Yeah, there's going to be an exhibit that's Frida and uh, I can't remember the name of the photographer. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to make sure I go see that. I try to remember to pay attention to the things that are happening. I'm not great at getting myself out of the house that often to be a part of things in person, but I'm really trying to be better. Um, really trying to be better. Thought balloons, yeah. Kind of, isn't it? I don't know. I in my head, I see it as um like I what I my intentions, my plan of what it's gonna be is it's not gonna look like that when it's done, but it kind of gives me a basis. I keep going back to candy in my mind for imagery. Frida would be great. Uh, I understand the difficulty leaving the house to see things. Oh yeah, everything is just it's a thing. Really trying to be better about that. Because even though I'm like really close to the city, I'm just in the like middle suburbs. But it's always like, oh, the main road in right now is under construction, so what would normally be a half-hour drive is gonna on, when there's not traffic, it's a half an hour. If there is traffic, it's an hour. Now there's construction, so double both of those times. Um, yeah, it's then expensive parking, driving with the traffic, tolls. I have so many excuses. So many. So very many. Um, but I'm really one thing like that I'm planning on doing and I'm really excited about is a local place here in my town. Theoretically, I can walk there. I don't know if I will. Depends on the weather, maybe. Uh, but there's this place that's kind of a gallery slash event place. It's an event space that they've been working at getting going for a while. And they're offering occasional, they've just started offering like live figure drawing classes, and I'm so excited. Can I take the metro? If you have a bike, you can bring it on. I could take the metro. I can walk to the train station, and I should do that. It sort of just depends on where I'm going, where I need to be in the city. I'm confident with the metro. I'm not very confident with any other like public transportation there. I know how to take a taxi, but that's not always the best thing. Oh, Mary M 2031, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I need to do more of that, but yeah, I'm really excited about this figure drawing class offered right here by me. And I've been saying for ages that it's something I would like to revisit doing, because I haven't since college, which has been a hot minute. Just only a minute. Yeah, I would like to revisit that. I haven't, because it's been so long. Just kind of freshen up those skills and, you know, be around some people's. Crazy thought, I know. But that's also why I decided that this is the year that I was gonna finally try and get involved in doing some art fairs, like in-person stuff. Like there's always that feeling of not quite being ready. I think a lot of us can struggle with that when you're working towards something or whatever your goals are. There can be a lot of that self-doubt, I guess, which is hard to acknowledge and figure out how to move past sometimes. But yeah, this year it's like okay, I know I fail hard at putting myself out on like social media. I really need to start being present in the real world. And the hardest part of that is the fact that I'm in the suburbs, because there's a lot of arts in the city. In Chicago, it's really amazing for that. But it's so easy for me to talk myself out of going into the city for, you know, a talk or something that's a couple hours in an evening or whatever. It's so easy to, you know, come up with an excuse to not do that. And I'm trying. My little introverted homebody art is being dragged kicking and screaming sometimes. Oh, my light just automatically apparently powered itself down. I didn't realize that thing had a timer on it. Well, I learned something new. Will you turn back on? Or did you die? Come. You can do it. I believe in you. You can turn on. Come on. I think I just killed a lamp. I think we're still mostly okay for lighting here. I mean, the painting is still lit. I might be a little darker. I think we're okay. Well, that makes me mad. That was a new lamp. Granted, I bought it used for cheap. So, still. We'll try it again tomorrow after it's had a proper cool down and see if I can make it work again. Yeah, killing lamps. Yes, mood lighting. No, it's a proper art studio where I can be all moody and have a cigarette in my hand, shouldn't I? Yeah, I was talking about watching that documentary about Rothko. Like every video, which is cool that there are videos, a lot of videos with him, but always with like chain smoking. Always, always chain smoking. Which is interesting. I don't think it probably helped, but oh, sorry, again. I don't know. He clearly had a lot of things going on either way. So I don't know. Yeah. But he wasn't, what was he in his, was he 55 when he died? He died of suicide. Not as young as some people, but still a real loss. Still a very, like, unfortunate loss. I got a brilliant lamp off Amazon a while ago that was half price off. And they use them for musicians and stuff, so it's got a clasp, 3 different light modes, cool, warm, mid, and the best. That's kind of what I have. Like this lamp I have is a clamp. It's made to be like a key light. I got it from B&H Photography, which is a really good company. And it's used, but I haven't run it this long, so I don't, it might have an automatic shut off on it after a couple hours. It's been not quite a couple hours that I've had it on, so I guess that seems like maybe not, but yeah, that it has the different color temperatures. It clamps onto the desk, and it's like a nice big round LED for a fill light. But yeah, I don't know. I got it for really cheap because it was on the, like the used equipment thing, so it might just not be good. That is entirely possible. But yeah, having one that I could clamp to the top of the easel would probably be nice. This one wouldn't quite work for that. It's on like it's just a stationary on a 2-foot pole thing. I think it can telescope higher, but yeah, it's got like the desktop clamp on it. Yeah, Rothko gone way too early. Yes, a lot of artists. And again, part of the research I've been doing, the tortured artist thing, trope, there is a lot of anecdotal evidence about that, you know, but is anecdotal evidence enough? Does it really prove anything? That would be, you know, that would be the thing. That's weird. It's 7:40 at night and dark out, and I'm hearing a cardinal singing outside my window. I wonder if they're confused. Yeah, I think he's confused. It's just very odd. Like, I don't think you never hear a songbird. Oh, that's weird. He's like right outside my window. Very strange. Even the birds are confused. It's not just me. I think I have some clipped paper stuff at my collage pile that is what am I thinking? Like cupcakes. But I really would like to maybe find some candy stuff maybe. Oh no, does this mean another trip to the thrift store? Look for some books and things. Maybe. All right, what do I, I have another piece somewhere. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? I had another little piece with some text on it that I was going to add on here. And I had it separate from the other pieces that I just recently cut out because I've had this cut out for ages. Where? Ah! Underneath the bin with all of my paints in it, I found it. And it makes me laugh, so I'm putting it on. It feels like if you ask me right at this moment to explain myself, I don't know if I can, but it feels like the thing. And I've sat on it for a while, and yes, it is going on here. It says, how come nobody comes to my parties? And heck yes. Right now. I almost forgot I had that. I've had it sitting to the side. I've been good. Like, I think I want it on there. I have a hard time justifying it, but I think I want it on there. But you know what? It feels right. And so much of the things that I do center around, like I try to use my conscious brain, but the unconscious brain definitely plays a significant role in what I do too. And if you give me a day, I will come up with the most brilliant BS story about why it fits on here. Why it makes sense. And it does. It does, to me, it makes sense. I just can't explain it. But I love it, and it kind of makes me chuckle, and I hope that other people feel that way, but you know, here we are. I just emailed you the link for the lamp. Oh, thank you. Because apparently I'm going to need it. Apparently. Just about knocked my camera off back there. And the higher I make it, the more angled it is. But again, this is just my situation. Everything's lopsided and chaotic, and that's just what we're working with. And you should definitely make another trip to the thrift store because yes, and then share with us all the goodies. If it's because it sits, yes, it's true. There are lessons to be learned from our cats and dogs, and that is one of them. That is the damn truth. I'm happy. I'm happy already. That just like, it's done. Pulled it all together, masterpiece. That's it. That was the missing piece. Not exactly, but yeah. I'm gonna adjust the camera so no whiplash real quick. Just a little bit. Whoa, there we are. Center a little bit more. Is that a little better? See a little more. Whoa, closer. Yeah, it'd be better if that light was still working. That would be nice. Dutch angle and mood lighting. This is becoming a horror film at all. Oh God, oh no. I'm done for. I love a horror movie. I doubt I'd survive one. I don't think I'm final girl material. All right. Okay, where are we at? What am I doing? Where did my brain go? That edge was just a little too much of a hard edge there. I wonder if I can, this will work. Nah. Too glossy. Your horror flick would be Final Destination just via clumsiness and forgetfulness. It's so true. You know, they say that, I forget the exact percentage, but people who have ADHD are like so much percentage more likely to die in accidents because of distractibility and forgetfulness and all those things. So yeah, I mean that tracks. Uh, that would be my own personal. Hmm. How could you die in a studio, in an art studio? I mean, if anybody saw Buzzsaw, that was a lot of death by art, but it was all like supernatural. I don't work with a lot of chemicals, but there are some. Like I do have some oil painting stuff. This is a fascinating topic to think about. Oh, how would what would my horror movie conclusion be? Hmm. Hmm. Oh no, my paints are drying. Okay, I need more paint. God, my nose is ringing. It's like kind of cool in this room because it's getting cold out tonight. I think we're supposed to get down to 23. Um, so it's coolish in my studio, and yet with lights on and camera and everything, it gets a little, it also is like warm where I wouldn't want to put on a sweater, but it's cool enough that it's like making my nose run. It's like going in and out outside sometimes does that to me. So it's kind of weirdly obnoxious. How would you die in an art studio? Are you for real? I could think of at least 7 different ways. Drinking your turpentine, maybe? Start with well, yeah, gravity. But what would be heavy enough to kill me? I mean, I have some big paintings, but they don't weigh much. Things don't need to be sharp to be stabby. True. Hmm. Oh God. Okay, I have, as much as I enjoy terrible horror movies and the ridiculous gore, like I can't handle gore stuff in real life at all, but like horror movies don't bother me at all, except for I kind of have this thing with eyeballs. You'd be holding, okay, I'm gonna make myself upset just by saying it. Holding its paintbrush and falling and paintbrush going through the eye into the skull, death by paintbrush. There we go. My studio death. I see the cups of brushes in front of you. I see the trick. Yes, yes, yes. Exactly. That's it. That's the one. That's got to be it. Yeah, my first things, my brain's going to like flammable stuff because art studios often have a lot of that. I don't have too much. Uh, but that's funny. I hate eyeball stuff. I really, uh, it's like that one of those irrational, I guess, like fears. Not really a fear. Like I'm not. It's not like something that like haunts me every day. I'm afraid this is going to happen to me. But I have this like. But it's just this thing, like. And maybe it's one of the reasons why I'm like I'm totally okay with that. I wear glasses now. It's like protection for my delicate eyeballs. I don't know. Or I'm just getting loopy. Hi, Watson. Hey, back. Oh, I felt like it got heavy. Okay. I need a... What do I need? I think I would like to find a purple. I might take a green. Not that one. I might take this green. That could make a pretty pastel that isn't exactly the same as that one. Why didn't I get pastel yellow or pastel, that not pastel, fluorescent, that like highlighter yellow color? Oh, I need that in my life. Next time I go to the art store, I know what I'm getting. My poor cat. It's like, what are you doing and why haven't you stopped doing it? All right. I don't know if this will work. I can always paint over it. I'm the same with eyes. It's just a no, no, no. Keep it away from the eyeballs. Yeah. Literally any time I pick up a pair of scissors or even like a razor in the shower, I'm just like, watch the eyeballs. Like, I'm just gonna like absentmindedly like do, scratch my face or something and just jab something in my eyeball. It's like this thing. It is this for real thing. It is hard to explain. And therefore, I have a very much a love-hate relationship with Lucio Fulci films because there's always some crazy eyeball stuff in his movies. Because he apparently loves messing with eyeballs. It's like a thing for him. Hi, mister. I don't know if anybody's watched any Lucio Fulci films. Weird Italian horror. Kind of post or offshoot of the Giallo era. Definitely the kind of movies where it's like plot only kind of matters, but definitely really doesn't. He's more about the vibes. I'm experiencing really bad thrifting jealousy because I saw a chick on YouTube who found a box of secondhand shop, priced super cheap, opened it up, entire near fresh set of Winsor Newton cotton. Oh, watercolor's nice. I'm jealous of those people who are like, I bought this frame with a painting in it for the frame, and oh, it ended up being a Monet painting. Like, who does this happen to? Yeah, some people have all the luck. And we have there's one in Chicago and there's one in the suburbs. I usually go to the one in the suburbs, this store called the Waste Shed, where it's like a thrift store specifically for art supplies. So if you are an artist who decide like you've completely changed the way you work, you no longer work in watercolor, say you've switched to working with oil paints or screen printing or something, you can take the art supplies that you no longer use or utilize, donate them there, and then they will resell them, like partially used art supply stuff. Yeah, the Monet thing, I'm pretty sure, I think that I got the right artist, and that was like a thing that actually happened. Crazy. When doth thy next art movie video land? Oh, I know. Well, the one that I'm working on about the tortured artist will be the next one. I have a list of about 3. I'd like to have 4. This is getting wonky. Oh well. Movies that for subject matter for another one. That I actually like. I have them on my watch list, and I know that they're about art, so I need to watch them so that I can utilize them in that way. Yeah, like I it's in my mind. I just need to pull together. I think I need one more movie on my list. And there's like some that I have seen that are, oh, hello, baby. Oh my goodness, you're very cute. There's some that I've seen that are like very around a painting, around an artist, but there's just not much to talk about on them. You know what I mean? If you've ever seen movies like that where it's like, okay, they're kind of about a thing, but there's also not much going on there. So, hi, you're very cute. I know you're so needy. So I've got some of that, a few of those, but I'd rather not. But based on recommendations, I go to the Waste Shed in Chicago, across the street from Daigle Coffee too. Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't gone into the one. I think I've been in the one in the city proper once. I've been into the one in Evanston multiple times, and I've gotten a lot of stuff there. And it's fun because you just never know what you're going to find. Yeah, I totally forgot. Movies about, yeah, I I need to have like a running list of more films that I can check out. But I do have a few. Most of them. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're so cute. Hi. Hi, baby. It's my baby boy. Yeah, what I've been looking for in thrift stores lately has been frames, honestly. Like, frames are so expensive. Oh, it's just my baby. He needs hugs, huh? You need hugs? Okay, there we go. Because frames are so expensive, and honestly, like, even getting a frame that I need to do some putty and painting to. Yes, Orphan is one on my list. Thank you for that. You made that recommendation, and that is one that is going to be probably the next video. And somebody else made a recommendation, and then I found one other one. So I have 3, and I'd like to have 4. I'll figure out the 4th one, and that will probably be the next proper video that I make. You're so funny. Yeah, but I've been looking. It's still cheaper for me to find a used frame. If I can find like one that's maybe wood, even if I have to get custom plexi cut for it, if it's not in good shape, the glass that's on it, do repairs and painting it, is still like, oh, it's so much cheaper. Like, I wish I could afford to buy frames for everything, but you just gotta make things work with whatever money you got with your resources. But yeah, mostly I've been looking at thrift stores for stuff that I can use to make paintings, like the magazines that I showed earlier, and frames. Those have been my main things that I've been watching for. And I did just the other day, find a couple of frames that I probably will have to like cut custom mats for, and that's fine. I got a mat cutter, and at least one of them is going to need a new piece of plexi, but that's not too expensive. I can do that, and it's still like infinitely cheaper. Calm Drowning TC2IHMJ. Hello. Cheap viewers on. Oh no, you're a bot. Never mind. Goodbye. I think I can figure out how to goodbye you. I can't. I don't know. I gotta figure that out. I need to learn Twitch a little better. I'm not super comfortable with Twitch right now. With like doing stuff with the chat there. I gotta learn that. So yeah. Okay, well, we've had a little kitty interruption here. He just got real needy, huh? He just need to be held. Oh, my boy. It's funny. Well, that's, you know what? Not bad. Not bad, progress. Let's see, Fantasy Waves. I thrifted a standing vintage Winsor & Newton easel for very much a fraction of what the sale online. Oh, nice. I love minutes from thrifting, antiques, and indoor flea markets. I'd rather not buy new. I hear you. I'm with you on that. I have a great stretch of thrift stores just like a mile down the road from me. So if anybody who is in the Northern Illinois area, in Arlington Heights on Rand Road, there's a stretch where there's this huge community thrift store. It's like the size of like a Marshall's or something. It's really nice. And then there is just a couple blocks up. Oh my God, the cat hair. There is a big Salvation Army, and a block up from that is a local mostly furniture and household good thrift store. I can almost picture the name of it. And then across the road from that is a Goodwill. And, in between the Salvation Army and the community thrift is a huge Habitat for Humanity restore. And then just a little bit even further up the road is a big Wings Home of the Sparrow thrift store. So my God, if you want to do a row down the road, just like block by block, it's pretty great. Is the Joann's closeout sale still going on? I think so. I haven't gone in there, and I should. There's one right in that same area. I don't know, it's like I do have some fabric, and it's just one of those things where I think about trying to make more clothes and things and projects with fabric, and then it's just like, okay, that's one of the more of the things that I store in my studio that I don't really have a good organizational system for. But yeah, I think so. They're advertising those closeout sales on TV for Joann's. That's kind of crazy. As I understand it, that is a venture capitalist kind of a situation where, yeah, it's too bad. But yeah, I don't go there I've never have gone there very often. Occasionally, I get some project in my mind that I gotta get stuff from there from. And it's funny, the Joann store by me is like, it looks like it hasn't, like nothing in there has changed in terms of the store and the setup and the registers and stuff since the 80s. Like, it's just a little antiquated and the waits are always crazy long. They have some art supplies. Yeah, they do have some. I've gotten some things there in the past. But I'm very, when it comes to art supplies, I'm incredibly spoiled, and it's kind of a terrible thing because the place that really gets all my money is the suburb next to me has a Dick Blick store in it, in Schaumburg, and it's like a 10-minute drive because of lights and things, but oh man, they get all my money. If I have money to spend, it goes there for the most part, just to keep myself in paints and all the things. But I did find when I bought a couple of frames, it was at the Goodwill this last week. I also found a bunch of random little like 5x7 just canvas boards, little guys like this. So they were 99 cents each, so I bought a few of those. And you never know what you're gonna find at these places. And like, if you guys have watched some of my past live streams, I had done a cutting board, used a cutting board. Like, there's always random things that all you need is the right ground, the right gesso or whatever, what have you, and you can paint on a lot of different things. The last trip I'd made to Dick Blick, I got actually some plastic primer because I'd show you if I didn't have this baby going on right now. Oh my goodness. Hi, my sweetie. You're a good boy. But I got this like real ridiculous kind of Baroque-ish frame that has like 3 ovals for a 5x7 piece in it. And all the molding and stuff on there is like cheap little glued on stuff, and then it's got this like gold patina over it. So I got that. Like, it's a mixture of wood and plastics, but I think that plastic, I'll check, but I think that plastic ground will work to cover that up and paint on it and create a project out of that. That's actually next to me over here, and as something I mean to be working on. Your cutting board is what inspired me to make my nameplate for my bedroom door. That's a round wooden pizza board I found. It's awesome. I love it. Love it. Our Habitat store is the cheapest place in town to get frames and pieces to make frames. Ooh, I hadn't seen much in my particular store for frames, but I will keep an eye out for that. I haven't gone in there in a little bit. Oh my gosh. The cat hair is for real. Makes my nose itch. And dry out my glasses a little bit. All right. Okay, here, I can show you the thing that I was talking about. So this is the frame that I'm talking about. It's like I think it's mostly plastic. This is some kind of like a plywood in here. Not plywood, but some kind of cheap board, particle board. And these might be wood. It's hard to tell with this paint on there, but I think it's mostly plastic. and whatever this wood board is on the inside. So it has a little, like the canvas boards that I picked up are like perfect for fitting in there. So I'll come up with something cool to like paint up the frame and then put some things in there. And that I found thrifting as well. And because it's kind of gaudy, I think I got a really good deal on it. I don't remember exactly. I've had it for a while. It's been one of the things that I've been holding on to for a long time, that I just grabbed it out of the corner of the room and I'm like, yeah, I need to do something with that soon. Oh my God, I think I have cat hair in my eyeball. The frame is red. I'm so deep in ephemera antique crafting right now that I distress and haunt the crap out of the frame. That's so cool. Yeah. I'm thinking like some really gaudy colors, but it'll depend on what I decide to put into the, what kind of painting I'll make to go in the little frames, actual frame part of it. So I'll try to be smart about it and not work backwards into it, where I do something crazy with the frame and then I got to figure out what I can do to make it work on the inside. So yeah, that's my normal MO. Make things difficult by myself by just jumping in head first without a plan. I thrift old folding wood TV trays. They're a great base for painting. Everyone I make one for uses them. That's really cool. That's a cool idea. I like that. And isn't it, that's really the thing, like finding these random things to create paint surfaces out of. Because like a nice gallery stretched canvas, that isn't cheap either. And I love the idea of stretching my own canvases, but space, like I don't have the floor space open even at the moment, the way that my space is set up. It's just like, it's just very cramped and tight. And yeah, maybe one day that might work out to do, but it is not today. Okay, that green that I just made is really close to the background green. So I use some of this deep green permanent with a little white, which is not, trying to remember how I made that green. You know what? I think that this is a phthalo of some sort, probably. Maybe. And I used phthalo blue and yellow, I think, to mix with white to mix that color, so that would make sense. It's all of the same. Yeah, a little ingenuity can go a real long ways when it comes to trying to be creative on a budget. I think. Easy to not think to do those things, but if we remember that, a painting doesn't have to be on a canvas, that really can stretch our abilities to make things and be creative. Ah, sorry, I'm still cracking at the poor microphone. Ah, there we go. A nice yellowy green. I like that. This needed more yellow. Oh, right. I like that. I should have mixed more of that color. Anyway. One of the other things that's hopefully going to be good about the weather turning here and getting a little nicer is, man, I've let myself get out of shape this winter. I have not done like any physical activity hardly at all. I think at least maybe I'll go out for some walks and things now. That would be good. Oh, hopefully. Will be nice days for that. Hmm. I mean, we're getting somewhere. We are. Let's see. Let me think for a moment. Which is always dangerous. Hey, I think that's the first thing I dropped today, is it? Maybe not. What other goodies do I have in here? I did one with a Dungeons and Dragons logo. I went over it with a dragonfly glaze. My son loved it so much he asked me to do a Studio Ghibli cat returns table for his fiance. It took months. Wow, that's really cool. Nice, nice, nice. I love it. The Dungeons and Dragons is like having a moment. It has been having a moment, hasn't it? I haven't seen the the movie that they did, although I've heard good things about it. What was that? 2 years ago now? I can't keep track of things or time. But that is super cool. I love the idea. I love it that, come up with such cool things to do and make. Guys are amazing. Also, for the record, early stages of learning perspective sucks. My head hurts from trying to figure out the scene. Oh, the blue touch on that is cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I keep mixing in other things. Yeah, perspective drawing. I think I got kind of lucky. I had a high school art teacher that kind of drilled that into us, and then actually I had a college perspective drawing class that was kind of just a mess. I think they lost the teacher last minute and they had somebody fill in who really didn't know the material. But yeah, it's not the most like it's more analytical. Like it's rules. But yeah, I think it even if you're whether you're gonna do very like realistic perspectives and exact stuff and get out your T-squares and you know triangles and things to make your stuff even if you don't do that, just it's good to learn it because it helps when making scenes just to like kind of have an idea. Doesn't ever have to be perfect, but just knowing. So good luck with that. I think you'll be fine. But yeah, it is a whole nother thing. It's like the math of the art world, perspective drawing, right? Like that's I think the best way that I can think to look at it. Because it's the part where there's a lot of measurements and all that fun stuff. Right teacher make oh yeah, absolutely. I think with everything, having the right teacher makes a difference with any topic. Teacher can make or break your interest or curiosity or understanding of a subject. I think I just had a moment. Let me get more. Where's my yellow? There, no. Nope. That's not the one. Where did I put it? Oh, it wasn't in the bin. I didn't put it back where it belongs. The math of the art world, 100%, and that's why my brain doesn't process it that well. Struggle with the spatial measuring and stuff. Yeah. Hear ya. That was my experience. That was my experience too. Just not very fun, but I'm glad that I did it. Okay. So I am going to put maybe a couple of happy faces. Oh my god, look at all the cat hair in there. Can I see it to pull it out? Or did I paint it in? There it is. It's worse is they're super, super fine. Like, you know, cat hairs. It's not like if one of my hairs gets in there, it's like big. Well, not real big, but just, yeah, I can grab it. Think you could spot it. These cat hairs are super, super fine. I'm talking about you. Man. Speaking of hair, I feel like I'm going to be living with headbands for a while because I keep not figuring out what I'm doing, getting annoyed, cutting it, and then trying to grow it a little bit, and then getting annoyed and cutting it, and trying different things that don't quite work. I should just shave my head and buy wigs. I'm too cheap to do that. That's the biggest problem with that plan. All right, see, here's that transparent yellow paint, so some white in there, and then I have to let this one dry and then give it another layer of the yellow. My best job at doing a circle. That one's a little squishy. All right, good enough. Not gonna lie, I may have noticed that every new video that lands you have different hair. Yeah, because I can't quite get it. I don't know. Never happy with it. And then like the whole thing of not like the lack of inhibitions, just like I'm annoyed, so I'm just gonna go grab the clippers and cut it short because I think that that's gonna solve it without a lot of thought or planning, just doing it, just rushing in to do it. You know, not always your best bet. Short wigs, long wigs, purple wigs, blonde wigs, black wigs, spiky wigs. I have some like cheapo Halloween wigs, but you know, they look cheap. I've got them for just doing silly videos at some point in time. But I part of me wouldn't be against it at all to do that. I also kind of just wish I didn't, like, I could figure out what the heck I'm doing, like my hair is doing. But at the end of the day, I'm not that concerned or bothered or fussy about it. I guess I just don't care enough. Constantly changing it. The problem with that is when I like film something for a video and then I realize I need another, I need to film like a proper intro or something like that. And lo and behold, I have put some different color or something in my hair between doing one and the other because that's me. Like, ah, just put a hairband on, nobody will notice. Right? And the other funny thing, and I think I maybe have told this story before, is I've kind of always been like the way of constantly like changing it and messing it, like kind of having fun with it because it's also maybe it's part of the problem is that I tend to see my hair as like an extension of a canvas, like it's to be played with, color cuts and things, whatever, just do whatever I want, I don't care. Which, yeah, probably part of the problem, but I had a roommate for a while in college, and she was I don't think it was an exchange student program, but she was from South Korea. And I remember her like mentioning, she's like, "You change your hair so often." She's like just saying it because it was an interesting cultural difference, I guess. But she's like, in my culture, somebody who does that all the time is considered to be like unstable. So that was funny and always kind of stuck with me. I mean, maybe she's not wrong, but yeah, I don't know. Just weird little things. Well, once those dry, I'll probably put some happy faces on there and I'll add more little cutout things and keep adding some bits of color, kind of working it up, uh and then the last thing will be to go in and refine this, add a lot of detail, the heart part, make sure it really pops against everything going on around it. So that a lot of that will depend on keeping things really like bright, a lot of pastels and stuff in the background mostly. But yeah, that's not bad. I mean, oh my goodness, going on 3.5 hours here, but got a decent amount done. And not bad. Unstable. She's she's wrong. My bestie does the same, changes their hair every week till it basically becomes super, super short, and then they have to wait. Yeah. Yep. That sounds familiar. I get that. And I mean, it's been a hot minute since I was in college and I heard that, and that hasn't changed my behavior. So, yeah, whatever. Have fun, do what you want to do. When it comes to things like that, it's sort of like that do no harm. It doesn't hurt anyone. As long as you don't, poke yourself with your scissors in the eye. Bringing it full circle. That's night. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This was fun, and I will try to get back on. I'm trying to get maybe into another either weekly or every other week, like regular kind of a thing. Like just trying to ramp back into it and being productive and doing things and showing up and having some fun. And thank you to everybody here. I appreciate you guys watching, everybody that's chatted with me, Arset and Jim and Steel Fantasy Waves, and everybody who's just watching. Like, thank you all. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope that it's been interesting or amusing at least. And yeah, we'll be back not too long. I'll schedule out something as soon as I know when I'm going to be back on, and make sure it's not months and months and months in between this time. So, yeah, Final Destination, Hair Boogaloo, yes! That's it. That's the thing. That's it. I love it. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Good night. And everybody have an awesome day, night, wherever you are. I'll see you soon. Bye.